State of New California. Notice to all Californians, Chapter 2, Grievance number 30, November 17th, 2020. New California is a new state in development exercising its constitutional right to form from the state of California. The process to form New California is authorized and codified in Article 4, Sections 3 and 4 of the United States Constitution. Statement of intent. The citizens of New California have decided to remedy the abuse of power of the government of California by exercising their right to form a new state provided in the United States Constitution, Article 4, Sections 3 and Sections 4. We are determined to live under a state government in the United States of America and under the Constitution of the United States. The New California Declaration of Independence, January 15, 2018, states whenever any form of government becomes destructive, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it and to institute new government. When a long train of abuses and acts to seize and hold the people's power without legal authority and pursuing invariably the same object that clearly demonstrates a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government and to provide new guards for their future security. Preamble of the New California State Constitution states, we the representatives of the undersigned counties within the state of California do acknowledge and humbly invoke the favor of Almighty God for continued civil and religious liberty to ourselves and our posterity. The First Amendment of the United States Constitution states, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press, or the right of the people to peaceably assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. The Fourth Amendment of the United States Constitution states the right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrant shall issue but upon probable cause supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized. The counties of New California State brought forward 95 Chapter 1 grievances between January 2018 and November 2019. On April 28, 2020, New California State will issue 95 additional Chapter 2 grievances to be announced in public on Tuesdays at 11 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. State of New California Grievance 30. Declaration of Grievance Statement of Facts. The people of California are suffering from a tyrannical state government which fails to provide a Republican form of governance, enables and supports across its southern border the invasion of the United States of America by illegal foreign nationals, and protects vicious criminals who commit outrageous acts of violence upon the citizens of America, all caused by a government of and for a monoparty system led by a tyrannical dictator who openly defies federal law. California state government violates the following. United States Constitution, Article 4, Section 4. The United States shall guarantee to every state in this union a Republican form of government and shall protect each of them against invasion and an application of the legislation or the executive branch when the legislature cannot be convened against domestic violence. United States Constitution, Article 6. This Constitution and the laws of the United States shall be made in pursuance thereof, and all treaties made, or which shall be made under the authority of the United States, shall be the supreme law of the land, and the judges in every state shall be bound thereby, anything in the Constitution or laws of any state to the contrary notwithstanding. Congress shall make no law, First Amendment, United States Constitution. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion, prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press, the right of the people to peaceably assemble, to petition the government for redress of grievances. 14th Amendment, United States Constitution, Section 1. All persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and of the state wherein they reside. No state shall make or enforce any law which shall abridge the privileges or immunities of citizens of the United States, nor shall any state deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor deny any person within its jurisdiction the equal protections of the law. Section 3. No person shall be a senator or representative of Congress Congress, or elector of president, vice president, or hold any office, civil or military, under the United States or under any state, who having previously taken an oath as a member of Congress, or as an officer of the United States, or as a member of any state legislature, or as an executive or junior officer of any state, to support the Constitution of the United States, shall have engaged in insurrection or rebellion against the same, or given aid or comfort to the enemies thereof. The Congress may, by vote of 2/3 of each house, remove such disability. Order of the day. The Constitution will not wait. We, the people of the unified counties of New California, seek the removal of California state government. We are determined to stop the one-man rule of a pusillanimous, craven dictator whose words and actions are a grave danger to all of us citizens living in California. On October 21st, 2020, in Sutter County Superior Court, a trial took place to determine if the craven dictator, governor of California, could continue to be a craven dictator or be forced to comply with the United States, U.S., and California constitutions. In the court's ruling, today the court confirmed that Gavin Newsom does not rule California and that we are still a nation of laws. California has not been well served by one-man rule. A return to representative government would be best for public health and the economy. The governor must accept this ruling as a fundamental principle to our democracy and govern himself accordingly. Recently, the craven dictator, governor of California, reacted to the court's ruling against him in the Gallagher-Kiley v. Newsom case. We strongly disagree with specific limitations the ruling places on the exercise of the government's emergency authority. Someone, Kevin Kiley, writing this blog, stated, he can see that this is the end of the one-man rule. That's because, simply put, Judge Heckman's ruling was a home run. In a thorough and well-reasoned opinion, she agreed with us on every issue. Newsom tried to get out of the case on a technicality, arguing that it was moot. But Judge Heckman held it was not, for two distinct reasons. Newsom argued that the Emergency Services Act transforms California into an autocracy and places all powers of the state in his hands, but Judge Heckman held that its plain meaning does not give the governor power to legislate. Newsom argued against any restraints on his future conduct, but Judge Heckman found good cause for a permanent injunction because it is reasonably probable the governor will continue issuing executive orders violating the California Constitution. Newsom argued that the ruling should be put on hold while he appealed, but Judge Heckman has not done that. So what is the effect of the ruling? Let's start with the obvious. First, it's what the LA Times called a rebuke of Governor Newsom. The judge found that several of his orders had no basis in law whatsoever. Second, it's a vindication of the rule of law. In a column about the ruling, Dan Walters writes that Newsom's unlawful conduct is ironic when he at the same time demands that 40 million Californians obey his pandemic decrees, such as shutting down small businesses. Third, the ruling restrains Newsom from issuing further unconstitutional orders. Here is the text of the permanent injunction. Gavin Newsom, in his official capacity as governor of the state of California, is enjoined and prohibited from exercising any power under the California Emergency Services Act, which amends, alters, or changes existing statutory law or makes new statutory law or legislative policy. This means that if Newsom continues to rule by fiat, issuing decrees that amount to new laws and policies, he could be held in contempt of court. Fourth, the ruling calls into question many of Newsom's orders. Judge Heckman rejected his argument that Section 8627 of the Emergency Services Act gives them autocratic powers. At least 24 of his executive orders rely on that section, including the business closure order and stay-at-home order. Fifth, it creates a precedent to challenge Newsom's more far-reaching restrictions, including lockdown orders. Assemblyman Kevin Kiley, writing in the second blog, stated, Newsom's ominous plans. Gavin Newsom has asked the judge to put the permanent injunction against him on hold for a minimum of 2 weeks, which makes me wonder what he has in mind for the next 2 weeks. We file a strong objection to any such free pass for the Constitution. Yet at the very moment his one-man rule is finally starting to give way, Newsom is ruling more recklessly than ever. Using his color-coded blueprint, the governor has whipsawed 11 counties backwards, again closing businesses and schools. At the same time, Newsom himself was just caught attending a crowded birthday party for a lobbyist at the French Laundry, a $350 a plate restaurant in Napa, and he has sent his own children back to English private school. As he ignores his own guidelines, Newsom still refuses to provide evidence they do any good. The California Business Roundtable has repeatedly asked him to for actual data that would show how business openings have affected COVID rates and transmission. And Newsom's own Health and Human Services Secretary admitted opening schools hasn't spread the virus. Other states have learned from the data. According to the New York Times, California is one of the only handful of states with the most severe business closures. According to CNN, we're one of only 7 with a school closure order. And Newsom is the only governor that would even think of ordering lockdowns to enforce a firm notion of equity. If we're to have a true democracy, not only from the nightmare of this year, from decades of decay, it must rest on the foundation of honesty and decency and respect for the Constitution and the rule of law. That means rooting out corruption. Partisanship, bringing people together and reviving self-government. It means above all trusting and respecting people of California. Gavin Newsom's hard to imagine a more striking foil. It is the responsibility of all Americans to denounce the behavior of such a craven dictator immediately and take action. For New California, it's our God-given right, it's our duty to protect our Declaration of Independence, our Constitution, and our Bill of Rights, which all means necessary from a craven dictator. New Californians will not comply. We request the President of the United States to act immediately to remedy these abuses by the California state and declare a state of insurrection existing in California. Insurrection. The government of California, the current socialist governor dictator and long party system, along with local officials, are following a coordinated design with the intent to actively engage in acts of insurrection against the U.S. Constitution. The Insurrection Act of 1887 and the Emergency Economic Powers Act are United States federal laws that govern the ability of the President of the United States to deploy military troops within the United States to put down lawlessness, insurrection, and rebellion. The California government, in conjunction with the socialist state executive, instituted wherever the current socialist governor dictator has usurped power, has actively engaged in acts of secession and have created a reign of terror in the United States citizens living in California, with the intent to secede from the United States of America and to thus destroy the very union of states which secures our liberty and freedom. Abdication of authority. Betrayal by the sitting socialist governor, dictator of California, the monoparty legislature, and local elected officials is evidence of an abdication of the responsibilities of authority and sovereignty over the citizens of the United States living in California. Prayer. The citizens of New California state pray for the President to exercise his authority under the Insurrection Act of 1807 or the Emergency Economic Powers Act to end the tyranny being foisted upon the United States citizens living in California state. This concludes these proceedings.